Hello, 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 everybody. We are back again on this fabulous. When I tell you gorgeous Monday, it's gorgeous Monday. We're here in Southern California and just back again for another wonderful Monday to the Mary D Talk Show. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mary D Welch. And now we're at, I think, like 3.5 years. I can't believe it. 3.5 years of the Mary D Talk Show. It's hard for me to believe, but I can tell you I love every second of it. I know you guys already know that, but I just thought I'd share that with you and just tell you hello, hello, hello. I'd like to first say hi to our executive producer. Hi, babe. That's the executive producer is Oliver Welch. He is behind the scenes. You guys don't see him, but I promise you he's there. And I'd like to also thank our live viewers. Hi, live viewers. And our replay viewers. Hi, replay viewers. Because if it wasn't for you, the Mary D Talk Show would not exist. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you who've already gone to YouTube and you liked, subscribed, and shared the show. That's the key. Like it, subscribe it, and share it. I really do appreciate that. I know too, I did the text today. I haven't I don't think I've texted in a few, well, not in a while. So today I sent out the text message on the show and everything. So I'm really glad I did that because I always like sharing it and telling people about it and if they can come. But I know this is also a time a lot of people are at work. I have found that to be the case. I was trying to put the show on YouTube, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I said, I'm not sorry, not on YouTube, on Instagram. But maybe I'll just wait and I'll do it next week. We'll see. But I was just trying to do it so it would have been up on Instagram and on all the other social medias and everything. So anyway, hello, everybody. I'm really glad to be back. We just got back in town last night. Oliver and I we were in Jacksonville, Florida. That was my first trip. I'd never been. I've been to Florida before, but Orlando. So I'd never been to Jacksonville. So that was a new experience for me to go to Jacksonville. Really pretty city. I was really impressed. I was like, wow, just a city I'd never seen. And then our connecting flight was in South Carolina. I'd never been to South Carolina either. So this trip was really different. Now I think about it because normally a lot of our connectors are in Dallas and Houston, or we've been or Denver. Tend to have a lot of flights. Phoenix, they connect in those cities, but these were cities I'd never had connected with. So I was kind of looking forward to just seeing something different because airports, as I'm sure many of you guys know, they have their own culture. The airport has its own culture. Think about that. I know it really does. So I just went to just kind of tell you guys some things. So we got back last night, and so I think I'm still kind of like because our granddaughter was in a pageant in Jacksonville. Now I'll be honest, she didn't win, but to me she did, and I told her that too. I said, Nasia, you were up there dancing and doing all that on the stage in front of all these people, and I told the truth. I said I couldn't do that. You were doing something that I know I wouldn't be able to do. It's not in me to do that. And I guess she's probably saying, well, you're on this show every Monday. But for me, talking is like breathing. That's okay. But being in front of people and um, it's just different to me. But her goal is to be an actress. That's her goal. She's going to go to drama school, and when she goes to college, and that's what she would like to do. So maybe that's why it comes. I can see she's a natural. She's a natural. But as far as I'm concerned, she won. She put herself out there, and she competed. She did a really, really good job. I'm really proud of her. So I say, I know, I don't know if if she gets a chance to see this show, she can know that, just to know her grandparents are really proud of her. And I always wanted to say that about any of the grandkids, because we're at the point now, when the grandchild graduates, if they're going from the middle school, if they even we go to graduations from the middle school to the high school now. We didn't used to, we do now as we're getting older. We go to those graduations, anything that we can go, because our grandchildren, we only have one grandchild that lives in California, and everybody else lives around the country. So if they do anything, we try to be there for them. We try to be there. We try to support as much as we can. And like anybody else, we can't be there for everything. I'm not going to even try to say that, but whatever we can be there for, we're there for. I can tell you that. We try to let them know how much we love them, and just be present as much as possible. But I see a couple of hi Nanette. How are you, Nanette? Nice to see you. And Oliver, he's usually he's in his office. I'm in my office. He's in his office. So he's watching. So I'm sure he'll say hi too. And I say, Inoko, greetings of love, courage, and purpose for all my beautiful and beloved family. Inoko, I was at the conference in Moreno Valley at the conference center. I heard you speak, and we never did get a chance to connect. I don't even know if you knew I was even in the room. You did a beautiful job, Inoko. I'm gonna be honest. You did just a fabulous job. But we just didn't get a chance to do the face to face, the FaceTime. But next time we will. But just so you know, I did hear you, and you were wonderful. I was actually at the door when you were speaking. And I was at the door and I said, I know that voice. But we just didn't get a chance to connect. I was sitting at the table with what is her name? And she's with the defense. You probably know it if I said now it starts with a T. It'll come to me. But I was at her table and we were sitting there. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But I want to talk now. Tell you, this is an interesting topic today, ladies and gentlemen. It's an interesting topic. Today, the topic is, oh, okay. You said, oh, I'm gonna tell you, you're right. You definitely. The passion is in your voice. It's in your heart. It's no question. It's there. Just know. I was sitting there. I was like, you go, Inoko. That's so, but I just want to tell you guys the topic for today. It is about money. I'm gonna tell you why this topic came to me because I don't know if I share with all of you before, even before when you see a text, when you see an email, when I come on live, I've already prayed before every single one. Every single email you sent that you received, there's a prayer that went with that email. Every single text, it doesn't matter what it is, but before I go live, I always pray. And so today I was praying. I said, well, Lord, I didn't know what is a good topic for today. And it was money. And I was like, that's not a topic we talk about. That's what I'm trying to try to turn away from it. Like, no, I don't think that's a topic we want to talk about. But this is what was given to me today to speak about, and that is about money. And about the spirit of it. There's a spirit. Think about this. There's a spirit on money. I tell you. This is how I know it's not me because I know I didn't want to talk about it. So that should tell you. Anytime it's something I don't want to talk about, that is kind of evident. Well, if she's not trying to talk about it, but when I'm led to talk about these kind of things, this is what I've learned. There's someone that needs to hear this. That's what I've learned. And what I try to be is obedient and talk about it. I mean, it's nothing bad or nothing like that, but I just try to be obedient and talk about, and I say talk about it. About you, I want your input. Do you feel like there's a spirit on money? And I even wrote down, or does money have a spirit? Let me say that. Does money have a spirit? Does money have a spirit? Does money have a spirit? And you can, that's for you to determine one way or the other. Some of you may say, no, it does. And some of you say, yes, it does. All that's part of what I enjoy. I'm going to tell you what I enjoy about when you see one-on-one, you have to know that this is me and you. That's just me and you when we're one-on-one. I haven't had guests for a while, and I'm going to tell you why. Because normally I talk, I talk to people, and they become guests on the show and everything. I have had so much fun with the audience, with you. You have been so much fun to me until I get off. I said, Oliver he doesn't know what to do with me. I'm literally on a high when I get off the show. That's how it is, has me on a high. So that's why it's been just fabulous for me. But we're going to get back to the topic on money. You tell me, do you think money has a spirit? And I say, when I say a spirit, I mean a spirit of giving, um, a spirit of not giving, a spirit of, I guess, can do good things with it. People can do bad things with it. It's the same money. It's still money. How do you feel that money is for you and your family, or you can just talk generally about it's in our society? How do you feel it is in our society? And then I'll give you some of my background. Oh, it does have a spirit in that. Then they said, "Yep, it has a spirit." Oh, you want to know what that means? Okay, like I said, a spirit of giving or of not giving, meaning that a spirit like okay, I'll use as an example. You're not sure? Okay, if I'll say this, sometimes we may want to give. We're giving out of our overflow, but have you ever given out of your lack? Out of your lack, meaning you really don't have it to give, but you still, if someone came and they really needed help, even though you probably need to pay your own bills, you still say, you know what, I'm gonna still help this person. And then you don't even know how your bills got paid. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that. I have. So I know it's been, and I still don't, honestly, I cannot remember how it got paid. I don't even know. Hi, Charles. Good to see you, Charles. I don't have the answer to that. Let me see. Inoko, let's see what you said. You said money can't bring me happiness, but it can make me happy. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. You said, "Oh, you've given out a lack, Nanette." Yes. I think I look back and I think I honestly don't know how I was able to take care of my responsibilities and I was taking care of other people's responsibilities. I don't even have the answer for that. I don't. I don't know what the answer is. I just know I've been there. I know what that feels like. So I do know. I just don't know. I'd say God did it because I sure couldn't tell you how I got done. I don't have the answer. But I think honestly sometimes we do give out of our lack, not out of our overflow. And for the difference, those of you, an overflow means everything you have to pay is already paid, and you have extra money. You have everything is done. You're doing well financially, but you still and you're able to give, and it's not a sacrifice. When I'm saying that you're giving and you're not giving out of you're giving out of a deficit, which really means you really need it, then that is a sacrificial gift. That's what that is. So if you're giving out of a sacrifice. You said corrections, it can take me to happy places. Okay, no, I agree with you on that. Oh my goodness. Did I get yours out of lacking in that? I don't know if I put that one up. Because I think we think we have to have a lot to give. And I don't honestly think you do. I think like you think, oh, I need X amount and then I can give. No. And I think truthfully, sometimes God wants to see if you're gonna if you're gonna give. You may not have as much as you want. You may not, or you may have more than you need. And everybody that has more than they need doesn't mean they're gonna give. That does not mean that if somebody's in need, they can still say nope. Even though they have the money, they may say no. They may say, no, I'm not going to do it just because I don't want to do it. And whatever the case may be, that's their choice. I don't want to sound like that's up to them. And that's what I mean when I say about a spirit. It means a spirit of giving or a spirit of not giving. There is no right answer, by the way. None of there is no right and there is no wrong. And I love situations like this because sometimes we want to be right. And there isn't. There isn't. You cannot give and you're still just as right as if you do give. It really is a personal choice. It doesn't have to be what I think or anybody else think. It's your choice. It really is. You said when I am praying about salary, I always base my ask on my giving. That's a good one. Cole. Hmm. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. Huh. Because I'm actually in the middle of doing a proposal right now. I'm proposing doing for a project, and now that I'm listening to you about it, I didn't think of it like that. But I don't know. See, I don't know how that will work because. So, do you base it on your tithing? Is that it, or how do you base that? Because I haven't. I never thought of it like that. I'm just writing a proposal based on the hourly that was given to me, even though I can't base it on that because now $20 an hour, you can make that going to Jack in the Box and work. It's no longer used to be a low. Well, California has gotten kind of. I mean, to live in California alone, people. That's one thing they did tell me when we were back. We were in Florida. They said, "How do you guys afford to live there?" I thought that was funny. And I said, I think it's like anything else. You don't even think about it. You just do it. And I said, and not only that, we're one of 40 million people who do it. So 40 million people live in the state of California. California is humongous. It can be its own economy all by itself. That alone should tell you what California is. So being that it's big that way, I know why is it gas $5 a gallon? I couldn't tell you. I don't know the answer to that. I do know how much is it? 36 cents a gallon per gallon is taxed. I do know that. Now I don't know about the other states. I do know if you look on the side of the gas tank, it may have gone up. I just know that the last time I looked, it's been a while now. It was 36 cents. It was 18 cents for the federal and 18 cents for the state per gallon. Now I don't know if it's still that anymore. Who knows? You could have. I mean, everything else has gone up, so it probably has gone up too. I just haven't noticed. But yes. But back to the subject at hand. On money. So, Inoko, let me ask, you said yours on giving. Do you find so they obviously agree to your salary, whatever the salary that you're presenting to them. So you're saying that you get to write your I. So I've never written my own salary. I don't think I've ever had a job where I wrote my own salary. They always told me what the salary was. I never said in education, you don't get to do it. You don't get to choose. This is it. That's it. So, but if you're in a field where you could choose, that's good. And you said, no, I asked a percentage above my household budget. Oh, wow. That's good. I didn't see, I've never done that. Even now, when I write, I'm writing it. I'm not done with the proposal, but I'm writing it as I was writing it this morning. I'm almost done with it. It'll be done tonight. But I looked at that, another person's proposal. Mine is based on their kind of kind of in the same ballpark type thing. But I looked at it and we're not doing the same thing. So I don't know how that's going to work. And then I look at my background and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. But I went to the questions I have was one, does money have a spirit? That was one. Number two, do you serve money or does money serve you? That's the second question. Do you serve money or does money serve you? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Do you serve money or does money serve you? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm to be honest. I don't know on that one. Um, hmm. Do you serve money or does money serve you? So do you? I think for some of us, I don't know. That's a hard one. I think that's a hard one because I think it serves us, but at the same time, you have to either earn it or have it has to come from somewhere. I know. saw that. I saw, Coach said, this is, was that? No, that was Nanette. No, Nanette said, this is deep. Is this too deep, Nanette? This is, and now that you mention it, it is, huh? Because normally I keep them very light-hearted. That's why I said this was so different for me. I was like, are you sure? Money? We don't talk about money. I don't think this is a subject. I'm trying to think of my family. I remember growing up, and my parents were showing me how to fill out a checkbook. I had to write the bills one time. I actually had to write them. And I remember writing the check thinking, I don't really like this. But that was their way of helping me see what it took to run a household. Because had they not shown me, I really didn't know. I never knew anything about my father's income, my mother's income. Well, the truth is, how would I know? And so I remember we were sitting at the kitchen table, and my mom brought, the list of the bills and all the bills sitting in front, and I had to make the checks out on all of them, which was new to me. I had never done that before. But I had to learn some, they knew I was going to, these are life lessons I'm going to need to know. I'm going to need to know. So that was when I had to learn that. He said, this is deep. You are too funny. You are too funny. So I can tell you, let me say this. I think we shy away from this topic. I really do. I think it's one, because even I know some things about the stock market, but I don't know a lot about it. I just know a few things about it. Years ago, Albert and I, we were trying to get into the cryptocurrency, and it just didn't work out. We had taken money out. We were going to do all this, and then went to the credit union. They said you can't send money to this person because you don't know them well enough. This was to get when Bitcoin. Believe it or not, Bitcoin then was, I know it's hard to believe, but it was $1,000, and our goal was to get 2 Bitcoins. Think about that. It was $1,000. It wasn't even 1,000. I think it was like 900 and something. So now I believe it's like 700 for Bitcoin. But because the credit union said no, we didn't know. And this is what I've always been told: never invest in anything you don't understand. And that was definitely one we didn't understand. Because I know people that got into Bitcoin at 100. They got in at 100. I know it's hard to believe now. Some of you may even you own Bitcoin. Then I know some friends, they have it, but they don't know that they can't remember their password to get in to the account. And there's, as many of you know how Bitcoin operates, no one can help you with that password. If you forget it, then you're on your own. So anyway, now I'm sure they have probably $1 million in there for all I know. But the point is, you can't get to it because they can't remember what the password is. And it may come to them one day. You never know. Those kind of things happen. So I don't know if anybody else in here has. Okay. It provides you with the opportunity to serve. All right, Cole. All right. I didn't know if you were here or in, I think, DC, the Washington, D.C. area. I love that area. I do. I think that is my very first. It's funny. We live in Southern California. The place I keep saying we're going to at least go to for a month. We still haven't done it yet. Is New York. But my second place to go is Washington, D.C., Maryland, the DMV area. I love that area too. So, well, one of these days, I just like when I go in to go to the museums and that kind of thing. I just love it. Okay, you said my salaries have always have been so low, and I wasn't worried because my needs were met. Okay, that's good. Well, and they say that's relative. They may seem low to you, but to somebody else, it may not be low. You don't know. We don't know because what you think is low may not be low to other people. I I've learned the hard way. My mindset about money was it was poor thinking. Oh, okay. And no, I think we're, I know I have, and it's taken me years to just because I was raised by a saver. My mother was a saver. This, as they say, she make a dollar holler and a penny scream. She made the dollar holler and the penny scream and the nickel go running or something. She knew how to save money. I would be amazed. I just be amazed. And I just never I that but that bug never really bit me like that. But now as I get older, I'm trying to be more conservative. I'll say that. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, okay. Me too, Nanette. She's low in the money literacy. There's so much that I don't know. There is so much that I don't know. And I just probably need to take, I've taken classes in the stock market, but not enough to really do anything, just enough to know some terms. And that's pretty much it. But I really, really need to spend more time and really learn about these things. I don't know. I'll be the first to admit that I don't. Um, but money, this is why I think about it. It's a learned behavior, and and I think our attitudes toward it's a learned attitude. Because my dad was not the saver, my mother was. I don't think my father was not the person to save money. He always wanted his kids to look good, his wife to look good, and things like that. It wasn't about saving money; it's making sure that our needs were always met. So, yes, I can't get into my husband's account. You can't. Wow, get out, Noko. Oh, see, I'm telling you, you're the second person I know. I have another friend. She can't get in. It's her account. She can't get in. And she bought, like I said, she bought when it was 100 and something. And now, from my knowledge, unless I don't know what it's done lately. You guys may know, but it's 70,000 for one Bitcoin. The last I heard, and that's been about a week ago. So I don't know if it's gone up or gone down. I have no idea. You guys probably know more than I do about what the finances like that. I don't know. Uh, Money talk wasn't really encouraged when I was growing up. Mine either. Mom made a dollar screen. You know why we say that? Because they can keep that. I mean, but my parents, they grew up very poor. They did. And that's why I think my mother was the way she was. She was from a big family, and they didn't believe in wasting anything. I remember we talked about that one day about because she grew up on a farm, and she said what did she say? They ate everything but the squeak or the squeal on the pig or something. It was everything. Nothing was wasted. Not That's the only thing they didn't eat was the squeak. It was the squeal. I'm like, okay. But I was raised in the city, so I wasn't raised in I don't have the same sense of lack. She was raised in a big family, that kind of thing. I wasn't. Well, it was five of us, but it still was. Hers was at any given time there were 9 kids at home. The thought of that makes my mind swim. The thought of that, but yeah. So at any given time, 9 kids will be there. That's just how it was. So they had to. I actually remember asking her, what was it like during the it's not funny. I said, Mom, what was it like during the Depression? She said, what Depression? I thought that was so, because for her, there was no Depression. That's just the way it was. So because I'm sitting here teaching history, and I knew she had lived through the era that I was talking about. She said, we didn't know there was a Depression. We didn't even know. They didn't know anything about the banks being shut down. None of that. None of that was anything that they knew about. So that's telling you too that it was a different time. It was a different era. You know, um, she said they grew everything. They grew everything on the farm, and whatever they didn't grow, they would trade at the store for whatever they needed. Then he said, a few years ago, I learned I learned that annual salary of 55,000 up was middle class. I never achieved that yet. Is that what it is? Oh, I don't think that's it anymore. Uh-uh. I know it's not. It's almost double that now, Nanette. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you look, I think I was at City Hall somewhere, and they said the average salary for residents in Riverside is 95,000. Think about that. The average salary for Riverside resident is 95,000, and Moreno Valley is almost 100,000 a year. So 5,000 shy of 100 might as well be 100,000 to me. That's the salary. Uh-huh. So things have changed. It didn't go up, it actually doubled. Think about it. I'm telling you. And hi, Sheila. Nice to see you, Sheila. I tell you, haven't seen you for a minute. We're talking about does money have a spirit? And then we're talking about the spirit of money. And as we also talked about Bitcoin. As I was mentioned earlier, I know a friend that can't remember her password. She bought Bitcoin when it was $100 for a Bitcoin, and I want to say she bought 5. I think so. And then now she can't remember her password to get in, and it's worth, you say, $500,000 or close to it, but she can't get in it. And we were talking. This was a couple of years ago. This is when it was up to like 70,000 then, like 2 or 3 years ago. And there was somebody that had $60 million in Bitcoin and could not remember their password. $60 million, could not get in. I said, I couldn't even. I was like, are you kidding me? So that's telling you that, yeah, you may have it there, but I'm just using Bitcoin's example. You can have other investments, because I don't even know. It used to be, was it Ethereum was another one? It has so many. I don't know what is going on now with that currency. I don't even hear the term EFTs, non-fungible. I forget what the T stands for. I just remember non-fungibles. Now, non-fungible means, I don't even know what that means. I just heard the words. So somebody, if you guys know the answer, I am all for learning. And what is a non-fungible? I know that I used to hear NFT. I haven't heard the word NFT in a while, probably about a year now. What is an NFT? I just know non-fungible something, and I don't remember what the something is. But that was really big about 2 years ago. And now, just quiet, as they say, crickets. So I don't know what happens. I do know everything operates by supply and demand. Supply and demand. In California, now, an average, if you can buy a home for 600,000, I think about what I'm saying. $600,000. You better jump on it. You better jump on it, because now $1 million is not unusual. That's not unusual. This is just another world, is what this is. Think about that. That $1 million for a home is it's the average now, or going, or whatever. But you can buy homes for less than that. I don't want to sound like that, but it used to be, when you would talk about $500,000 for a home, that was some grandiose thing. Not anymore. That's a regular, everyday home for $500,000, $500,000. It's just another world, but it's still based on the same principles: supply and demand. What is the supply and what is the demand? What I think has happened is our children have grown up, and now they want to be homeowners. So that's what's driving I think that's what's driving our. Oh, I see what you have a comment in it. It says, I just looked up middle class income in California is $69,064. Okay. I don't know where I was at City Hall, and they said it was 95. I don't know. They said Moreno Valley and Riverside, the average income was 95,000 a year. They didn't say everybody made that, but I guess enough people make it. It's 95,000. To me, you might as well just go and say 100,000. Inoko says, I didn't realize how poor my family of 8 was until I went to college and received every was it every giant, I don't know what that scholarship for low income families. My mom was the layaway and budget queen. Tell me about it. It used to be it doesn't exist anymore. Store it called Unimart. I don't know if you guys probably don't remember Unimart. I remember Unimart because you know what your mom realized, that's the way she's gonna get it paid for, is to put it. And now, I'm pretty sure Walmart you can do layaway. They had stopped for a while or something. People were like, because layaway, it used to be, I don't know if it's still like that. It's interest free, so you just go and pay on whatever it is you have in layaway, but there's no interest like it is, if you use a credit card and stuff like that. But layaway is interest free. So that makes a big difference too. All of those things make a big difference. We didn't even talk about credit cards. Now that's a topic. You guys want to talk about credit cards? Okay. Credit cards. Wow. Now see, when I was growing up, they didn't exist. That didn't even. You said no credit, no credit cards. She is still like that today. Okay, see, you know what because she has learned this is the way you can live without going into debt and owing people, that you end up paying twice the value of whatever it is you bought. Now, credit cards. We didn't have those when I was growing up. Mm-mm. You either pay cash or you did, like you said, Noko said, lay it away. How else did you buy things? It was either cash, laid away, or you put a down payment and then made payments. Usually it was some type of down payment. It could be as low as I think $5 or $10, but you had deadlines when you had to make those payments by. You couldn't just let it sit there. So if you weren't making the payment, they would put it back on the shelf. And now I'm thinking about it, I remember it used to seem like a pawn shop on every corner. It wasn't on every corner, but it seemed like that because every time, you looked around, there was a pawn shop. And now I don't see that many. I'm sure they're there, but not as much as I used to see them growing up. And you would see the musical instruments, and you would see, what else did you see in the window? Musical instruments, jewelry. That's the only two things I can remember. And power tools. That's another thing I remember seeing in there is power tools. And I'm like, I never thought of power tools being something to put in a pawn shop. And if you've never used a pawn shop before, I don't want to try and explain how to use it because honestly, I know it's hard to believe. I've never used one, so I don't really know. I know you bring the item in. I hope I get this right. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. You bring the item in, they appraise it, and they're going to tell you, I'll give you, let's say it's worth $1,000, and they say, I'm going to give you $200 for it. But it's valued at $1,000. And that's probably about right. Now, it's something like that. Then what they're going to do is give you $200 for that item. You have so long to bring the money back, or they get to keep the item. I hope I did that right. So you don't even hear. I don't even hear about it. Pawn shops anymore. The pawn shops at one time used to be a really big deal. That people would take their rings or take their whatever. It could be, like I said, musical instruments. It could be binoculars. I'm trying to think of anything else I could think of. It could be anything. Truthfully, anything that was of value, and they would give you something for it. But if you wanted it back, you had to pay that money plus I think it's probably some interest. I'm sure, and they'll give it back to you within 30 days or 60 days. I don't know what the length is. I really don't know that part. It could be 30. I'm thinking it's at least 30 days. I don't know if it's more or less than that. But that would be another way for you to get money if you needed money, is to take things to a pawn shop. And you guys may know if I didn't say that correctly, please correct me because I'm not really sure. And so I don't want to give any false information about anything. If I said anything wrong in that about the pawn shop, please correct me. But I just wanted to tell you that's something you don't, like I said, you don't hear anybody talk about. I don't even know the last time I've heard somebody talk about it. That's one of those, I don't know, just it's there, but we just don't talk much about it. Oh, and thank you, Inoko. Payday loans. Wow. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, that does make sense. The payday loans replace pawn shops. Abusive practice against poor people. Yes, they had to go to court for payday loans and stuff. If you notice, it used to be a payday loan. It's like to me on every corner, but they went because once you got in that loop of that, it was almost impossible to get out. If I'm gonna explain that, so somebody may say, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, the way and correct me if I'm wrong because I want to make sure I get this correctly. A payday loan is, let's say I have an electric bill, a $50 electric bill due. So let's say I borrow $100 from a payday loan. And I say I'm going to pay that money on when I get paid. By the time that it's for time for me to pay that back, I'm going to have to pay like 150 or 160 or some kind of astronomical number. If the number was so outrageous until it was, like you said, it was really against, it was abusive practices against poor people. They finally had to take those places to court because it was that bad. It was loan sharking. It's just a legal way of loan sharking. 50 to 100% on the loan. I didn't know it was that high. See, I knew it was high. I just didn't know it was that high. And I'll be the first to. I have tried my best to stay away from those kind of things as much as possible because I've heard of people getting in these loops and they couldn't get out because they never made enough money to pay it all off. So every payday, they were still there paying a little bit on something that should have been paid a year ago. So, but then again, now think about this. Credit cards, to my knowledge, credit cards are not up to 50%, but they're up to 30, 32%, 37%. So it's like they're not, and that at one time that was considered loan shark rates. Mean that you are a loan shark if you loan money at 30% interest, which means if I borrow $100, I have to pay back $130. That's what that means. So when you get in those loops, the only really way out is to whatever the payment is to double and triple your payment. To pay the minimum, you'll never get out of it because all you're paying is the interest. You're never paying anything on the principal. The interest is the 30% that they're tacking on. The principal is the amount that you borrowed. That's the difference. So let's say I borrowed $100 and they're saying, okay, you have to pay back $130 and the payment is $29 a month. It would take me 5 years to pay that back. If I at that rate, if I just pay the $29 a month, but if I paid $100 a month, it will be paid off because now I'm paying the interest and I'm paying the principal. The principal being $100. That's what it is. That's a huge difference. That I don't see any other way. You have to, if you didn't double and triple the payment, you'll never pay it off. It literally, because it's every month is still accruing that 30% interest. So your goal is to knock it down as fast as humanly possible to make sure you get it paid off. So that's the key. Now, I've done a lot of talking. I talked a lot of things. The only thing would I not talk about? I didn't talk about car loans or a home loan. I don't think I talked about that. I don't know what the interest rate on home loans is today. Well, let me say this. I don't know what it is today. Okay, Yunoko, what did you said? That is why I have one credit card under $500, and I keep the balance under $100. They have increased it to 5,000. I requested it to be removed. You say, Inoko, I'm not having this. I know that's right, Inoko. Because you know what? Because you know why they increase it? Your credit. I'm gonna tell you. Just an hour earlier, I told Oliver, I said, Oliver, I didn't apply for this credit card. A credit card came in my name, and he mentioned it to me, and I said, I didn't even apply for that. And then I said, oh, I know what's happened. Somebody looked on there and saw my credit is, decent, whatever, and they just sent the card. I didn't even ask for it. And I said, nope, I can't have that. It's too, for me, it's too tempting. I like what you say, no, because I am not the one. You're not going to have me in all this debt and stress. Because I do believe that stress, as you know, I don't have to tell you, stress kills. And when you're stressed out about finances, it takes its toll on your body, is what I think. Because you have grandkids and you have drugs. Okay. You say, I didn't know you had grandkids in Oklahoma. I don't think I knew that. Well, I can tell you, stress is real. That's what I will tell you. Stress is real. So just keep that in mind. And I believe the lower you keep your bills, like you're saying, Inoko, the better. You're keeping stress off your body, out of your life, out of your running around. I call it running around in your mind. Every time I say that, I always think of somebody running around. But I just say, you don't want to have, as much as you can. And no, there is no, guarantee that we can not have it. And you're going to have some stress. All of us have it. That's just the way it is. But as much as possible, you want to reduce it. That's what I would encourage. As much, and I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. As much as possible, we want to reduce the stress in our lives as much. And one way to do that is to reduce our any financial stresses as much as possible. That's for sure. What else did we talk about? I said about home loans. I did mention that. Mortgages. Now, this is what they'll tell you, that's the best. If you, as far as money is concerned, that's the best money to borrow, I guess you could say, because that's the only interest you can write off. There was, now, years and years ago, you could write off your credit card interest. They wiped that out. It's like, no, you cannot write off your credit card. So the only deductible you have now is your the deductible of your mortgage. That's it. Unless you have a home-based business. If you have a home-based business, then you have other deductions. Or if you own a business, it doesn't have to be at home, but if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, then you have deductions that you can, they're legitimate deductions to write off. But if you do not own your own business, you can't write those deductions off. You have to be a business owner and able to write those off. That's for sure. And I saw Elaine. Hi, Elaine. I saw you in the meeting. Okay. Oh, I see what you said. I'm sorry. Let me go back before I go to Elaine. And that was, Inoko said, charging is like a drug. It is. I'm guilty of it too. I wish I wasn't, but it is. But I have definitely, I'm working on getting, paying off credit cards and all that kind of stuff. And so far, so good. And I think that's why they sent the one, because they see I'm not using it. Maybe that's what it is. I tell you. But I'm like you, Inoko. I don't want to see another credit card. But Elaine says, hi, Mary. Had to come on really late today. That's okay. I will watch the replay because I want to really hear the comments on this topic. Sorry I missed you today. That's okay. I was there too for the group. I mean, not the group. For WAG, West Side Action Group. I was there. And Annette said, oh, payday loans and that was abused. And I learned to avoid these places. Yes. I'm sure. I think we all have. I like it. And there was one not far from our home. in the shopping center, they went out of business. Because remember I said once they took the payday loan people to court and they had to change their structure and how they loan money, all of a sudden they went out of business. But they had people, oh my gosh, it was bad. It was terrible the way they had it structured. And hello, Dr. Aura. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. I saw you on Facebook. I did. But I would tell you, ladies, gentlemen, I think, well, it's definitely a personal thing. No doubt. No doubt. Because I think my husband's better at money than I am, I think. He's definitely good. I think. Oh, no, don't worry. I'm always glad. Anytime you can come, I'm always glad. I know you're a busy lady. You got things going on. And then Inoko too. Inoko says they were only in low-income areas. Oh, yep. Then not too far, about not even a mile from us. That's where it was one. Well, it's not even there anymore. In fact, I think it was two. It was one on one side of the street and one on the other side of the street. And I have a feeling they were owned by the same people, and they both went out of business. Once they, remember though, this is like 20 some odd years in. This is years in, they went out of business. It wasn't, so they've done some damage. I promise you that. Those payday loans have done damage to people's finances, to their homes, to everything. They really have. There's no doubt in my mind to stay away from those. Well, I'm sure I'm sure the companies are still out here somewhere. It's just they're not in near us, but they're around here somewhere. I can tell you that. For those of you, you see the payday loan people, and they have contracts. You couldn't even read the writing that was so tiny. Think about that. You need a magnifying glass to read the writing in the contract. Now you know it's something in there that they're trying to hide. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, and you said always check cashing places. Yep. But you can cash a check, I think, at Walmart. Don't quote me on that. And you have to pay a fee for people. You don't have to go to those places. If I remember seeing, I went to Walmart. Was it for a money order or something? And I think the lady in front of me cashed a check. Now I don't know that, so don't quote me on that. But I just remember thinking, I think she did. I don't know how that works. I've never gone there to do that. I try to stay with the bank account, but then this is what I had to learn too. Just because that's what I do, that does not mean that's what everybody does. That's just what I do, because that means going in and establishing a bank account and all that those kind of things. And then even when you do that, if you don't keep a certain amount in there, there's a fee for that too. They're going to charge you if you don't have a certain amount in that account. You're going to have to pay a fee. I actually went into the bank one day. This was a couple of years ago, and I went to close an account. The lady said, she goes, I can't tell you what to do, but I would advise you not to close that account. And I said, why? She said, because you're paying $3 a month as a service fee. And that same account right now is $12 a month. I'm just like, okay, I'll keep it open. I said, I just like, I'll keep it open. If that's the case, she did. She said, but as long as you keep a balance of X amount of dollars, you don't pay anything. But right now, if you fall below that balance, all you pay is $3. And I started thinking about the millions of dollars this is causing people. I mean, I was just doing the math in my head, and it was phenomenal. Because everybody's not going to keep it at that level. So that was another thing that came to me about that. None of the Cash App platforms have taken. Oh, okay. Is that what happened, Inoko? Okay. Inoko is saying Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, that's taken over. And that's where you pay. But you know what? You don't like paying high fees. Zelle, I don't think you pay a fee because it's bank to bank. I don't think so. People, correct me if I'm saying anything that's not correct. Don't correct me, because I want to make sure I give the right information. They all have fees. Zelle has a fee. I don't remember seeing a fee. Maybe it's at the when they send it, there's a fee. I don't know, Inoko. You could be right. Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that because I was beginning to wonder where I said, where's the fee? I hadn't seen one, but that doesn't mean there isn't one because I don't see it. So thank you. Zelle, there's no fee. So those of you that have, and thank you, Inoko. If you don't have, if you have Zelle, and I have friends that don't have Zelle, but they have PayPal, and I know PayPal has a fee. PayPal has a fee. I try my best to use Zelle, and I tell people why when they say, "Why do you want to use Zelle?" And I say, "Because there's no fee." Um, Eventbrite. I know people like to use Eventbrite. Eventbrite has fees. They sure do. Unless now, let me say this too: if you're doing something for under Eventbrite and there's no tickets or it's free, then use Eventbrite all day long because there's no fees attached to that. You can set everything up on there, have it that go to that website, and you're good. You can have tickets for zero, have a zero amount for tickets, totally free. I like Eventbrite for that. But the minute you attach a fee to it, there's an amount to it. There's a fee to that, and it's based on. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't even know what it is. I just know that there is a fee attached, and I don't want to give you the wrong amount, but there is a fee attached. If you use Eventbrite and you're selling tickets, and there's they have to pay so much, then yes, there's a fee. Just so you know. I just wanted to make sure. But like Inoko said, there's no for Zelle. PayPal, I know there's a fee. Venmo, there's a fee. What's the another one? I'm sure those are the ones I tend to use. Just those that you guys probably know about different ones. I just know the one I use all the time is Zelle. That's the one I use. Now I don't know about Venmo. I think there's a fee with Venmo. I don't know what it is though. If you use if you purchase and someone has a Shopify store, there's a fee to use your credit card on there. But you're right, Inoko. You're so right. So that's the difference. I still see, I'll be honest, I still see check cash in places, but not that many. Just a couple. I haven't seen that many though, but just a few. That's something that has changed. But our society, we have truly gone, it's what they call the gig economy, going online to do pretty much everything. If it can be done online, it is online. That's the facts. That's just the world we live in now. Because what do we have 24/7? Telephono. I was just in the Apple store the other day. My phone went out. I was traveling. Would not charge up nothing. I had no phone. Can you imagine? As some of you know, I'm on the phone all day, every day. So here we are out of town, and I have no phone. None. I'm sitting there. We're in the hotel room, and I'm going, this is different. But the phone would not charge up. And it had been plugged in all night and didn't charge up. And that's just, we had to take it to the Apple store the next day. Okay. Beware. Inoko said, beware. Nothing will be fee free. You right, Inoko? You are so right. I'm telling you. And I'm sitting here. I want to share this with you guys before we get off today. This is coming. It's new. And many of you are on the email list. I think almost everybody here that I know is on the email list. That I had to hire help, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? I had to hire people because the email list has grown by leaps and bounds. Which is a good problem to have. But because of that, I'm going to be not switching. I don't want to sound like that. But you'll have an opportunity to be a subscriber. Yay, subscribers. And there'll be three different or three levels to subscribe at. It's called the Star level. Then it's the Star Plus level. And the last level is called the Superstar level. And I'll tell you more about it because that's what they're working on in the background. The assistants that work now and this is all just like a shock to me of what the list is doing. And now just everything is changing because of just keeping up with it all. As I said before, I was out of town and Well, I did learn a good lesson. I started emailing. That's one thing I did do. I was emailing the family, telling them you can't reach me because I don't have a phone, or I tell them call Oliver because I didn't have a phone. Okay, Nanette, you said I don't see the Zelle app, but I used, oh, what you said? I use the Zelle method through my bank, which feels safer to me. Yeah, I think so, because it's bank to bank. Use it, you need the person's, I think you just need their telephone number. I think that's all you need on there. And Inoko, and I know we're down to like the last 1 minute. All these platforms, remember, need remind you of a drug dealer. They will give you the first hit for free because they know you will be a customer. Okay, Inoko. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end up that note. I'd like to thank each and every one of you because I'm gonna do a really quick roll call. I mean, it was Inoko, Nanette, plus I mean it was so many came to Charles, then it came through, and also I saw Sheila's name in there. I'm laughing because Inoko was teasing me. And then I saw Dr. Aura, she came through. Ladies, gentlemen, we will be back next Monday with another topic. I'm sorry. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next Monday. Love you. Bye-bye.